If you think that your tiny SaaS has no chance against funnel giants, you are dead wrong. Because I'm going to give you the 9 Guerilla tactics we use to win deals, outrank spenders and outsmart SaaS players with 10x our budget. And these are in theory, they're proven plays that helped us add millions in profit. The next few minutes I will break all 9 tactics down so that you can steal them and flip your tiny SaaS into a profit machine that beats the big guys every time. Alright, let's look into the tactics. So these are the 9 Guerilla tactics to beat big funnel competitors. We have 3 in product, 3 in marketing and sales, and 3 in operations. Let's go. First one, become really good at one thing. So why is it important? This is the passion economy where people get paid to do what they love, right? And you have here the customer need, which is location, time, and financial freedom. And here's what the competition is doing. So they have the positioning, that's how they tackle the market. If we would clone and copy what they're doing, that would be a bad idea, right? Because they're ahead, well-funded, have bigger teams, and it's really hard to win against that. But if you pick one single thing, for example, in our case, branded apps for creators to deliver and monetize premium user experiences, and you become really good at that one single thing, then you can actually win the whole game. Especially if that one thing is really important to them, they are completely okay that the rest of that stuff is less. It's just basic functionality if you do one thing really, really well. Number 2, agency to SaaS. So what is it? Instead of getting funds and investing that in developers to then build something which you think makes sense, but then realizing actually it doesn't, you create an agency that builds something specifically custom for your ideal clients and you charge for that. And with that, you build a product that they really value, that they really need, you get paid for it, and then once you have that delivered, you transition that into a software play, which is self-serve. And with that, you get an unlimited amount of customers. You maybe still have your high-ticket clients, where you're a little bit more custom, and then you have your software clients, which is self-serve. So you can finance your product development through customers, which is much better than financing it through a thesis on a PowerPoint sold to investors, where they hold you accountable to deliver on exactly that presentation, which in the end doesn't really serve any customer's need. Number 3, leverage AI, Cursor, Replit, and whatnot. So big thing here is most of these bigger funded competitors, they hire teams, developers, junior, mid, senior, staff, principal engineers, VP engineering, and so on and so forth. And they build software, they build products, how it was done 10 years ago. So if you leverage AI and you start today, where they likely started a couple of years ago, they have so much legacy that they cannot compete with you because they have microservices built in certain architectures and they can maybe use GitHub Copilot, but they cannot use the latest tools that allow you to develop in 10 times the speed compared to what they are doing. So with that, you have an unfair advantage to develop quicker and faster than they develop, even though you only have like a couple of people. Okay, let's go into marketing and sales. Number 4, design and brand matters. So MailChimp has this little ape, right? Top left, little ape, and at some point they thought they need to become more professional, so they removed the ape from the branding, and people freaked out. They're like, holy shit, like the ape is the thing that really keeps me going, that keeps me motivated, and without the ape my life doesn't make sense anymore, and like I want to shut down the business. So the ape was perceived as a partner in crime, and the whole playfulness of the design really mattered to people, and that's why they love MailChimp so much. Having said that, even the same product, just with a different design, with a different brand, makes a huge difference. Let's say school, for example, school.com, people say maybe it looks like for young guys, it's gamified, it's a little bit scrappy, it's ugly. Then you have Kajabi, which feels like dated, dusted, old school. Then you have maybe Passion, which feels more modern and mobile first. In the end, with your design, you attract certain customers, and just because of that vibe, regardless of the functionality, you can attract customers. So it means if your design is more modern, is more vibey than what the old guys are doing, you can already win. Another idea, of course, is, check this, right? This is a canvas. 5 years ago, you used Photoshop to build anything. Now you have a canvas, you just like plug something in and that's it. The same with, let's say, marketing automation tools, right? Where back in the days you had to set up everything manually, and now you just like have a canvas, you connect everything and just like the automations run through. So with emerging technology, you can build things differently than what they have done. So let's say they have so much legacy, so much old tech done in old paradigms, that it's so much load and sunk cost theoretically that they are getting slow and they cannot really innovate. And that's what you can do differently. Number 5, founder-led GTM with social. So founder-led go-to-market with social, what is it? Basically, the big funded competitors, they hire big sales teams with SDRs, AEs, account executives, right? Sales managers, in order to maybe like even people on the ground with a car and whatnot, in order to close customers. The thing that works best by far is founder-led, right? Founder-led sales. But then at some point it doesn't scale anymore, so you have to like transition to sales-led and get like salespeople in, especially in B2B SaaS, for example. But if you do founder-led GTM in social, you can have actually just one single person, which is a co-founder, for example, in marketing and sales, and let him or her with marketing and sales sell to an unlimited amount of customers. And the person pre-sells, there's lots of content, you build up trust, and in the end, the customers, the prospect just show up with their credit card in hand, and you just convert them and that's it, right? So founder-led GTM with social is actually scalable, and that's something that many companies that are funded are still not doing. They're like, yeah, I don't want to be a brand. I don't want personal brands. I don't want brand faces. We're just like doing it the old way. So that's your unfair advantage. Number 6. Sell transformations, not products. Many companies out there, it doesn't matter if it's e-com or SaaS, they have just a feature list of what they sell. Let's say this is a folder, this folder has X amount of pages, it's that amount of material, that's the price point, that's it, right? SaaS would say you have so many users, so many features, and that's it, and that's the price. But if you zoom out, like what people ultimately are buying is they're not buying the tool, they buy something in order to achieve something. So for example, take Typeform, it's a little quiz builder, right? But maybe people buy it in order to become a quiz marketer or qualification marketer, or to make a whole career out of this, to become self-employed, to become an entrepreneur, to make hundreds of thousands, maybe even millions of dollars, right? If you sell them a training that helps them to use the product effectively in order to sell services to other people again, all of a sudden you sell a transformation that allows someone to become an entrepreneur, self-independent, and with that, $10,000 for that training would be completely worth the money if the person then makes or has a chance to make a few hundred K, right? And the same goes with e-commerce as well. What's the thing behind the product that you're really doing? Is it, for example, let's say you sell workout equipment, is it the identity of being in shape, being jacked, right? You can again sell, say, on top of workout bands, you can sell the program that helps you to get from bloated to jacked. So always sell transformations, much higher perceived value, much better. Let's go to operations. Number 7. All right, don't hire, freelance and automate. What do I mean by that? The old way to do it, if you have big funds, you do it the old way. You hire people, you create your role profile, you create your job ad, you get out, you get headhunters, you put the job ads on the portals, and then you then hire. No one that is really good, like an A player today, is up for hire unless you're like the star brand and you can pay top dollar. Think about Microsoft just tried to poach a couple of people from OpenAI for 100 million sign-up bonus, right? So that's crazy. Likely you won't have the funds, so that means you have to do freelance, and I think that's good because there's so many really good people out there that don't want to be hired, but they're freelancers, and you can start also with a lower obligation, for example 2 days a week, and then once it's working you can then go up to 3, 4, 5 days and make that work. Or you can actually say, hey, should I really hire? Maybe I can automate the whole thing. So the default should not be hiring, the default should be automation, and then only if you need someone you can get a freelancer from Upwork, Fiverr to like bridge between your automations, ideally part-time, later maybe full-time, and you get to know each other while working together. And if you then like the guy, the chemistry is there and the output is there, then of course you can scale it up and go full-time and maybe then even hire. But I wouldn't start with hiring. But that's what the big funded guys are doing, right? Number 8, go remote versus office. So let's assume you, like worst case, you build something in Silicon Valley. You get the office, it's crazy fucking expensive. You then get people that have to pay living expenses and they have crazy high salaries. And before you get going, you already like invested a couple of million. So if you are going remote, you can get people from South America, right? Latin America, Eastern Europe, South Africa, Philippines, Asia, all these markets where they would be paid above market in their vicinity and their geography, but in the end you can just like assemble your team as you like, and you would not pay the salary that you would pay in San Francisco. And you don't want to pay salary for someone paying his rent, right? Like, that doesn't make any sense. It's of no value. And also like it gives you flexibility to work time and location independent and go wherever you want, right? Remote is definitely something where you can outperform the traditional office-based companies that just like rent expensive office space and hire expensive people while you're like out and about with the best people on the planet to crush them while they're sleeping. And finally, number 9, resilience wins. What do you mean by that? If people raise funds, let's say 50 million, what happens is that they have to allocate and invest these funds. So usually after 1.5 years, 18 months, they have to have all of that money invested. And by then they have to have shown that they have grown the company significantly so that they can raise again. If they cannot show that, they cannot raise again. That means they have to lay the team off, and all of a sudden it gets very binary, where they likely even have to shut down, while you can silence, head down with your customers, shipping a great product, improving, bootstrapped, making some funds by being also an agency, and just like building it together with your customers until you get word of mouth and until like this thing scales by itself. That's how you build product market fit, versus the guys that have to invest 50 million, hiring a ton of people to then either make it, which is unlikely, or go bust. right? So dig with it, stay in it, and in the end you can actually win because you just have to wait for it until they run out of fun. Okay, so if you're bootstrapped, these tactics are your unfair advantage. Funding can't buy speed or trust or creativity, but these 9 plays make you unstoppable if you execute. So pick one tactic today, run it, and then stack the next one on top of it. So if you want to work with me one-on-one inside Marketing OS, click the link below and don't miss my video on how our Content OS multiplies these tactics automatically. So I'll see you at the top.